This is the Healing Hour for October the 29th, 2019. This is your host, Tyson Bannigan, the Empath Business Strategist. I help empaths discover their divine gifts, remove obstacles, and achieve true success. Want some help? Give me a call. Toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. Or internationally, 1250-803-2480. Good afternoon. This is Tyson Bannigan, and this is the Healing Hour. I'm with you for the next hour to help you with your dowsing and energy healing questions. These help you with the clearing, help you get from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest amount of time. So there's three ways you can join me over the next hour. You can phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. The numbers are in the comments wherever you're watching the show. You can also phone in through WhatsApp internationally, and the number is 1-250-803-2480, also in the comments wherever you're watching the show. And thirdly, you can join me on Zoom. Just click the link in the comments as well and join me on Zoom, and we can have a chat this way. So lots happening this week, and we're off to Vancouver for Halloween, for an opportunity to be in the big city for 3 or 4 days. So I will be doing my work out of Vancouver for the next 5 days from the 31st onward. So looking forward to being on the road. Hope you have great weather. Beautiful here and sunny in the Shuswap area. I get to live in Paradise, near Paradise Point on Shuswap Lake. So I see that we're joined by some people here, one attendee. So let's see. Oh, there's Mark. So let's allow Mark to say hello.
Hi, Tyson. How are you doing?
Hi, great. How are you doing, Mark? Oh, you went away.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Okay, great. You just disappeared. You're the disappearing man. So what's up? And I saw that quick note about UFOs. So what's up?
Oh, well, it's so ironic. We were talking about the Stone Circle and UFOs on Wednesday evening last week.
Yes.
And then that evening, I just messaged you and told you I sent you my friend's video. I don't know if you can share that video with anyone, but I sent you the actual video. I made a screen recording of it. Anyway, that evening, we recorded the video last Wednesday evening. I was actually flying to Serbia for a martial arts boot camp, which I got back yesterday. But anyway, that evening, we stayed up all night because we were leaving to go to the airport at 3 a.m. for a really early flight. And about 1:30 in the morning, I went out into the garden, and I'm like seeing this green and white light in the sky. And it's kind of like, if you imagine like a football field in the horizon, you know, where they have the lights, but it kind of looked like lit up sky, but it was greeny and white. And I sort of looked at it and thought, what is that? And then as I'm focusing in, I see a whole line of what I think was flying saucers, because they were hovering in a line and they had a red light on them.
Wow.
And I just was like gobsmacked for a moment, and I ran back inside, and I'm like, Irina, come down quickly. She was upstairs packing our suitcase. And she ran downstairs and looked outside. And,
so was this in England or was this in Sarajevo? I got confused.
No, sorry. This is in my home. It is.
Wow. So yeah, you did dial them up, eh?
I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about them, you know.
We were to let people know, we were talking about how sometimes you can use a medicine wheel or a stone circle. It's sort of like a direct connection to the star people that created the circle in the first place. Or in the case of doing a medicine wheel, it's constructed as a way to communicate with the star people, in which the ancestors are related to those that are birthed on Earth. So we had that discussion I think it was on Wednesday, wasn't it? And then here you are,
Yeah.
boom, you get to watch see flying sausage.
Can I let Irina, who's standing next? I've just gone to her office and just so you don't hear it just from me, because
Yeah.
I had another person. I'll pass the phone to Irina and let her tell you what she saw. Okay, because I screamed upstairs. Went back into the house. I was like, Irina, quick, come down, and she ran downstairs. And I'm going to hand over to her and then let her tell you what she saw. Right?
Hello.
Hi, Irene.
Hi. Yeah, it was actually very interesting. I came downstairs and went outside and have seen this like a greenish light, which was kind of getting a bit brighter, and it was looking like it's descending and ascending, you know, something behind the trees. So I watched it for a while, and then I thought I'm going to go upstairs and take a video. And I've tried to take a video with my phone, but it was like phone wouldn't take any because it was completely dark for it. And I've seen it like little lights, like red lights, hovering over like the area. Like it was very. It was amazing. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic, and what a privilege. Eh? You have visitors dropping by.
And actually, I'm quite scared, not of a dark. Yeah, I wouldn't go out in you know, up to the top of a drive to put beans out in the evening. But here, I just wanted, like, I said, come on, let's go there. We have to see this. And he told me, no, we shouldn't go. We should stay where we are.
Yeah, you might have got beamed up. Well, that's really, really amazing, and that's very exciting. It's like, you know, you're creating an energy vortex there by actually visiting the stone circle and doing ceremony, and here you get to have these wonderful experiences.
Yeah, I didn't want to go there myself. Oh, Irina did. I didn't want to go there.
I just wanted to go. I had the urge to go there. I thought I have to go there, but yeah, it's stopped.
Yeah, I didn't want to let you just go.
I would say with Irene, I would have wanted to go there. Of course, I've always been wanting the UFOs to come pick me up and take me home anyway, so I would have been running out there. Hey, I'm over here. I'm over here.
Yeah. I didn't feel like, oh, please take me, but I was so curious, and I was like, so I didn't feel threatened or anything. I just wanted to go and see. So.
Wow, that's really amazing. It's really amazing.
And normally, normally I wouldn't go for no love, no money. It's very dark.
Well, maybe this is the beginning of more contact. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe.
Could be.
Did any of the kids see it?
No. I mean, my kids aren't with me all the time because I'm divorced, so they're with mum like more than half the time, and with me less than half the time. Yeah. So I didn't have the kids at that time.
Right.
But no, they didn't. No, it was only me and Irina that saw it on Wednesday last week. But I sent you that video of what my GP, who's my old school friend as well, we were in the same year at school, and he posted a memory. So that was shot in October 2018. So that was a year ago, roughly, almost a year to the date, because he posted it as a Facebook memory. You know, it pops up a year, and memories on Facebook pop up after a year, or sometimes it's a multiple of a year, so year, 2 year, 3 year, whatever. You get the memories pop up of when you posted on the same day last year. So it was the same time as well. So he shot the video of those 3 flying saucers in his garden. And
let's see if we can show it. I don't know if we can show it, so let me just see if I can share it.
I don't know if you can share your screen and show it to everyone. Yeah.
See if I can share it here.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, if you can make it full screen.
Yeah, how do we do that? Oh, there we go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So here we are.
If you hit Control and plus on your keyboard, it will make your screen bigger as well. Like the.
All right, let's do the Control plus. Doesn't want to do anything, but maybe we can do it over here.
Doesn't it do? Oh, never mind. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, there you go. Click that.
Right.
There we go.
So here we go.
That's it. Yeah. I don't know if you got the audio.
Yeah, okay, let's see if we can do the audio. All right, here's the audio. It doesn't seem to want to do anything with the audio for some reason.
Okay.
So is that little round blip? Is that what it is, you think?
Oh, I don't. On my side, it's showing. It's not playing the video. I can't. I can only see a still
okay.
picture.
Right. Yeah, I could just see that it looks like a circle flashing on and on, like a orb flashing on just beside the trees. Anyway,
No,
pretty cool.
no. Oh, that's not the video. He's filming the whole sky, and his children are talking, so it's not playing the video properly. I don't know what I
Okay,
can
let me
see.
just see if I can go back and find out here. Stop sharing.
It
I'm
should
back
be.
over here. Let me just see if I can find where that is.
Sometimes it gets stuck when you try to. It gets stuck when you try to screen share.
Yeah, right.
And play a video. But if you should try again, it should play the video. Or you can post that video. You can post that video now, like as a Facebook post, so people can see it themselves.
Yeah,
Because I sent you the
I'll
file.
do that
so you
because I'm not seeing. I'm just going to see if I can go back to wherever that was.
Well, I can post it in there as well. Yeah.
Okay, why don't you
just sent
post
it
it
to you
over there?
the-
So we'll continue on. So lots happening in my world and lots happening in your world. And just to let people know, we're both in distant healing certification course, and we've now moved the time to 1 p.m. Pacific time on every Friday. So if you're interested in becoming a distant energy healer, doing distant healing anywhere in the world, and you'd like to be part of that class, then come and join us. We're just really getting going, so there's still time to join us. It's $333 a month to join us, and it's about a 6-month program. So if that's something that you'd like to do, come and join us. We'd love to have you. All right, so that was really quite exciting. So I'm gonna move on, if that's okay with you. I'm gonna just mute you for a bit. Oh, and all right, so the distant healing certification course, like I said, is every Friday at 1 p.m. It's $333. It's over 6 months. If you'd like to learn how to be an energy healer using pendulum and dowsing, then come and join us. There's 3 people in the course now. And I'm really excited to have you be part of that if that's something that you'd like to do. All right, so we're going to go over the distant healing. We're going to go over the Dowsing Energy Healing Closed Facebook group and see if we have any requests or comments over there that any people would like any assistance. So I'm just going to close that and go over to the Dowsing and Energy Healing. So I think I'll just share my screen here as we move over there once I get it opened up here. All right, so there we are. All right, so back over to the Dowsing, over to Zoom. So many things to do here. Okay, there we are. So we're going to share this screen here. Try again. Share. Okay, so we're going to go over to find the Wellness Show. Oh, if you are part of the Dowsing Show on Facebook group, the Facebook page, I'm going to close the Facebook page and have everybody over in the group. So if you're in the Wellness Show page on Facebook, I suggest you move over the Wellness Show group, and I'm uploading all of the interviews there. So come and join us over there and stay up to date on uploading the interviews up onto that page as well. So it's a great place to be able to stay up to date on what's happening with the Wellness Show. I'm off to Vancouver for Halloween, so there will be no Wellness Show on Thursday because we'll be traveling, but we should be back and up and running with a new show next week. All right, so let me just see here. I'm still looking for the page I want to share. So let's see here. I think you should be seeing the Dowsing and Energy Healing. Just stop the share and see if I can make sure I got it here. Dowsing and energy healing. Inbox reminders. Show all windows. Okay, there we can. Okay. Go book club. Oh, my goodness, there's so many things open. It's hard to find anything. Okay, so. All right, so let me see here. So the Letting Go Book Club, we're just about finished Letting Go book, which was really pretty fantastic. So I'm just going to hold it up here. And now we're looking at the possibility of doing another book in the book club. And so this was the Letting Go Book Club. It was on this book, Letting Go. And it was the pathway of surrender. It's how to handle your emotions by letting go of them and climbing the emotional ladder from apathy all the way up to enlightenment. Really a good read. It's great to do it in a group, lots of comments and lots of exciting discussion as we shared with each other. We'd like to do the next one on prosperity or on money. And there's a number of different books being suggested. One of them is this book. This is the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. Many people are saying, hey, Tyson, I'd really like to do one of your courses, but I can't afford them. So I think it's time that we just upgraded our relationship with money. The other book we have in mind, I can't remember what the title is, but basically it's channel messages from the devic energy of money itself, saying, you know, if you want to have a relationship with me, you have to treat me right. You have to become friends with me, and we have to have a, you know, like any friendship, you need to respect me for who I am. And so that's another option that we'll be looking at. So I will put the two options together, or maybe we do both books together. But anyway, if you're interested in doing a book club on prosperity, I have one person ready to join me in early November, which is about to start. So if that's something you like to do, it's $44 US a month. So if that's something that you'd like to join and increase your set point for money and make this more prosperous and financially successful year coming up in 2020, then why not get to work now in November and get you ready for the new year, okay? So there you are. This is the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. And the other one is a relationship with the devic energy of money, or the archangel of money, however you want to interpret it. But the energy of money is a living entity and needs to be respected as that. So that's coming up. So we're just going to go over the Dowsing and Energy Healing closed Facebook group and see if anybody's watching the show there and seeing if there's any questions that need to be answered with regard to the show right now. So see here. Yeah, so here I am. I can see myself. So Hillary Dawn Seeley says hello. So if you have any questions, Hillary, just type them in here and I can pick them up. That's the same with you, Mary Ann Hines. Welcome to the show. Any questions, please type them in and we can answer them here. Better yet, why not join me on Zoom and type in to chat there and ask me the questions that way as well. Rosalind, thanks for showing up. I like some help clearing. Okay, Rosalind, what sort of type of clearing do you want to do? Is it just general? And Georgie, welcome to the show. How are things in San Diego? I think that's where you are still. And why don't you jump on and tell me what's happening with you, with your connection with Mother Mary. All right, so we have 8 people that are tuning into the show. So that would be great if you wanted to just phone in toll free. The number is in the comments above where you're watching the show. It's 1-866-369-7464. Or you could come in internationally through my WhatsApp, which is 1-250-803-2480. And that's another way to join. Or you can just click the Zoom link, which is there as well, and join me that way as well. All right, so just waiting to see, and Debbie Estel says hello as well. So so let me just see. So Rosalind, could you type in what sort of clearing you want? Do you want just a general clearing, or what would you like? I'm getting no answer. So let's just do a general clearing for everybody on the call. So here goes. I, Tyson Bannigan, in my holy name, behalf of everybody on this call or listening to this call now in the future, in my holy name, undertake a clearing with the Sister Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source of all that is, to clear any and all non-beneficial energies in and around all the people associated with this call now and in the future. We undertake the clearing throughout the multidimensional levels of reality and throughout all time, space, and dimensions, both known or unknown, and will clear the matriarchal and patriarchal lineages, star family, soul family, and family of origin, and undertake this clearing to the multidimensional levels of reality, and I declare it so, so be it, it is done. Thank you. And if you're wondering where all those words from, there's a brand new copy of the deep clearing protocol. And after you do this for 21 days, the deep clearing protocol, you can then move on to the short clearing, which is on the last page of that download of the deep clearing protocol. And those are the words that I'm using now, or words to that effect. Once you've done it for a number of times and you feel comfortable with it, then you can put your own words into that short clearing. And it's got a period part of where it says open bracket and close bracket, because you can use the wording to clear anything and everything that you want. Okay. So Rosalind says she wants to clear a male spirit. Okay, so, or an entity. So it would be the same thing. It would go like this. So so if you're listening in, Rosalind, just say this with me. So I'm going to say, I, Tyson Bannigan, in my holy name, on behalf of Rosalind Reader, and you say, and I, Rosalind Reader, in my holy name, say that out loud. Undertake this clearing, and repeat after me, undertake this clearing of myself and everybody on this call or listening to this call, of any non-beneficial entities or spirits that may be inhabiting my energy field. And I ask for assistance of Divine Mother, Divine Father, and the source of all that is, to assist in the removal of these entities and spirits from my energy system. And hereby declare that I'm a sovereign human being, free and clear of any intrusions in my energy field from any and all sources, known or unknown. And I ask for my guardian angels to help remove them throughout the multidimensional levels of my reality, throughout all timelines, past, present, and future, through my matriarchal, patriarchal lineages, soul family, star family, and family of origin lineages. And I undertake this clearing in my holy name, and I declare it so, so be it, it is done. Thank you. Okay, so there you are. That's the short clearing form to rid yourself of entities or spirits that may be inhabiting your energy field. And so, Rosalind, I would just find that wording in a deep clearing and do it on your own, or also you could take the wording off of this show and also make it into a short video of the clearing as well and use it. So he's trying to be helpful and is having trouble detaching. Okay, well, just cut the cord. So that's the other way you could do it. You say, I, Rosalind Reader, in my holy name, assisted by Mother and Creator God and the source of all that is, undertake the cutting of all cords between myself and a person, state their name, and I clear myself throughout all timelines, past, present, future, and throughout all multidimensional levels of reality. And I declare it so, my holy name, so be it, it is done. And that will clear it as well. That will cut the cords. So Rosalind, let me know if that's been helpful for you and what sort of results you're getting. All right, so I don't see any more requests at the moment. So I'm going to scroll down and see what other requests there are now. Okay. So remember, if you're an empath or an entrepreneur and an empath, I can help you get out of your own way, help you triple your income if that's what you like to do, and help you deliver your unique gifts to the world. I do have a whole program, a 3-month program, which helps you discover what your divine gifts are. Everybody has 7 divine gifts. Each of us have different percentages of each gift. It's really good to know which 3 are predominant in your life, because they're the ones that are flowing through you in a stronger force than the other divine gifts. Once you know what your divine gifts are, you also know when you're not in the divine flow. In other words, you're blocking that energy because of trauma or conflict or unresolved thought forms or conditioning that you may have picked up. You will know what's going to reoccur in your life. There'll be reoccurring patterns that will show up. And so then I help you clear what's in the way. So we rid you of those reappearing patterns by using techniques like sound healing, the deep clearing protocol, which I just talked about, removing core fractures and toxic emotions, which is usually between the ages 0 and 7. Somebody who is an authority said something to you that you misinterpreted that may be blocking your energy, or you could be angry at God. There's all sorts of different ways in which you picked up some conditioning or thought form that's incorrect, and we are going to help you clear that. So once we help you clear that and you know how to get back in the divine flow when you're out of it, when you're thrown out by the circumstances of life, how to get back into the flow, then your life is full of ease and grace. Things just show up. Miracles start to happen. And from that point, we then look at, okay, what is this incarnation? What's this lifetime all about? What are you here to do? And then what are your unique gifts to deliver to the world? And would you like some help? Because I'm a business coach to learn how to deliver that, to reach the maximum amount of people. Because your goal would be the same as my goal, and that is the more people we can reach and awaken them, the more benevolent world we're going to live in. So that's why I am an entrepreneur strategist for empaths. Okay, I'd love to hear from you if that's something you'd like to do. There's a new study that finds changes in cancer cells when exposed to energy healing. Of course, we all know this, that cancer comes from radiating toxic emotions in the body. You know, any stress leads to duress, and duress leads to disease, and disease leads to disease. It's just that simple. So it doesn't really, it makes perfect sense that when you send energy healing to the cells, particularly if you are the one that is experiencing cancer and you send the healing energy, as well as you ask for assistance from others to help send healing energy to the cancer cells, that energy is going to be picked up by the cells, the consciousness of the cells, and transformation is going to occur, and which is really quite miraculous when you think about it. If you want to speed it up even more, then I would bless the water with 995. I make sure it's alkaline water, because cancer can't exist in an alkalized body. So alkaline foods, alkaline water really help the body heal from anything, including cancer. Cancer diseases, molds and fungus and viruses can only really exist in the body in an acidic condition. So a lot of acidic condition comes from fast food, not drinking enough water, so you're not hydrated, improper thoughts, fear, doubt, shame, or guilt, which is what we talk about how to let go of in the Letting Go book club. All those can lead to depression and, like I said, disorder, disease, and things like cancer or any other disorders or diseases. Really is the body saying to you that you need to change your lifestyle. You need to wake up and smell the coffee, so to speak, and to take a different path for your rest of your life, which can include exercise, diet, good food, good water, and good friends. So that's why I think this study is quite exciting, in the sense that we as energy healers already know this, but when the science starts to catch up, it's really quite encouraging that that's the case. I just go back over to Zoom here, see if anybody else has joined us on the Zoom call. Yep, we do have somebody else here. We have, there's me and there's Mark. So I'm gonna say hello to Mark, see if he's still in there. Hi, Mark. I just unmuted you. Any comments or anything you'd like to offer at this point, or any questions?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, you can.
Hello.
Okay. Hello. I have a question, actually, which is to do with energy healing. When I'm very new to it, so it's a basic question. When you first engage in energy healing, you're establishing a connection with the person you're trying to heal, right? But how would you prevent something negative happening to you as the healer? Like, how would you ground yourself and protect yourself from any of the energy coming into you that may be negative?
Yeah, good question. Well, the first thing is that, you always ask for Divine Mother or Creator, God, or the source of all that is, or however, want to word it, or, whatever your belief system is, in a power greater than you for protection. And that for me, it is my belief system is the energy comes from source and flows through me. So I'm just the conduit for the healing energy. And therefore, I can't be attached to it. The more I open up and allow the energy to flow through me, the more energy that comes through me in order to assist the other person. And really, in assisting the other person, it's really basically waking them up to their own potential to heal themselves. So I'm really not healing them. I'm waking them up to remember that they can heal themselves. So protection is really important. So when I work with Divine Mother, for example, I always ask, for protection before I begin the whole process. And then I do a whole thank you at the end of it. So it's sort of like a little ceremony to start, asking for protection, and a little ceremony of gratitude at the end.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I just met a lot of energy healers that seem to have, even some that have been practicing a long time, and they still seem to get some occasionally physical symptoms, I think, as a result of their work. But
yeah, I think
is it because they're not doing that process, I guess, up front?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most healers are empaths. So a lot of empaths don't know how to clear themselves and take back their personal power. They don't know what's theirs and what's somebody else. So if you're clearing somebody or sending energy healing to somebody and you don't have clear boundaries, you don't know what's yours and what's theirs, then you may be in a perfect match energetically, vibrationally with the person that you're clearing. At that point, the entity or the disease or disorder can transfer over to you. So the point is, dominant energy, or what I'm saying is the highest frequency always wins. So you want to have your energy field up. And if it's not you doing the healing, then the energy is only passing through you, and it's God's source energy or Creator's energy. So it's very hard to misuse that or corrupt that, or even possess somebody who's running that type of energy. There's just no room in the auric field for a being to attach itself. I think lots of energy healers are not, maybe not lots, but some also get themselves in trouble because they do the healing through their body. In other words, they absorb the toxic emotions or the trauma or the entity of which they're trying to clear, and they clear it then out of their body. And I really recommend that you don't do that, right? Though you don't do anything inside your body. Your body is your sanctuary, it's your treasure chest, and nobody is allowed to inhabit your body except you. And you make that really clear when you do the work. So does that answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It does. It's just a learning curve, I think, because it seems like people have to learn this, but it has to be a program that you can use to protect yourself, I guess. Or I kind of
sorry, go ahead.
One person did say to me that in order to be an effective healer, you have to establish this connection. And then I said, well, while you're doing it. So that when there is a connection, the energy has to go somewhere, and it will go through you as well. It just, like you said, it depends whether it stays there or not, you know.
Well, that depends on whether how you set it up. I mean, I don't want the energy coming through necessarily. I mean, I don't want to be I'm the conduit of the energy flowing through me, but that's it, right? I'm not the one that's the healer. I'm the vehicle of source consciousness that flows through me to do the healing. And even in that way, it protects me, right? So I don't want to be the healer. The healer per se that doesn't have that connection. It's like in the dowsing protocol. In the protocol in dowsing, you know, part of the protocol is to asking for that protection from your spirit guides or spirit doctors or guardian angels or source consciousness or whoever you work with, that you're protected, right? And that you also are asking that when you use your pendulum, you only want the answers from your higher self or from source consciousness, so that your ego doesn't get in the way, because your ego can make up all sorts of stories and thinks that it's responsible and can get caught in the glamour of all this, right?
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. It's a good question.
Yeah, it's relevant for me now at this stage, you know, because it's like dabbling a bit and now taking a step back to sort this process out a bit, or learn this process a bit better, you know.
Yeah. So you just really want to, before you douse, say, you know, and for me, the guiding factors for me is I have two principles. I want to do everything according to the law of one, which is do no harm. And secondly, I'm always looking for the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. So those are my checks and balances, so I don't get caught up in my ego. Because in one part of my life, I was playing minor guru in the late 60s, early 70s, and that was a bumpy ride. I actually thought I knew which was spiritually good for other people when I didn't even know which was spiritually good for myself. So I don't want to ever have that experience again, where I think I'm coming from myself or from my ego. So that's why I put those conditions onto myself, that I only want to do this according to the law of one, which is do no harm. And I ask for the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. And another one I have is if I'm talking to somebody and they turn away or they just space out or whatever, that's the end of that conversation. It means that that interrupter was put in place because they weren't ready to hear what I was to say. So I put that in place too, that, you know, that this, you know, if this is inappropriate information for this person or this client, have them tune out, and they do. So, you know, you create your own world with every thought, word, deed, and act. So, you know, what world do you want to create today? And what are your healing parameters? And, you know, what is your protocol when you go to do this? And how do you want to protect yourself? And how do you, what ceremony you want to begin and end? Like, for example, for a long time, I used to wash my hands after I did work on a client, right? Just as a way of reminding myself to cleanse myself, right? So that was a ritual until it became second nature that I would cleanse myself, right?
Right.
You know, in a Reiki, there's a symbol to open up and there's a symbol to close. So again, you know, there's an opening and a closing. And if you go to a sacred site with a shaman, he will teach you that too. You do ceremony, you open the gateway to talk to the lords of light that are, you know, the guardians of that portal at that sacred site. You do this ceremony, you ask for downloads, you have this experience, you come back out, and at the same portal, you thank the lords of light and for their assistance, and you close the portal. It's just like you going over to the standing stone, same thing, right? So you want to do your healing exactly the same way.
Right.
Great question.
It's really interesting because I'm kind of like learning some Chinese medicine from my Kung Fu master. And he, for example, last week, he he normally would see 1 or 2 people a day, but he saw like 6 people with frozen shoulder last week, and this week he's got a frozen shoulder. And that's why I was wondering about this, because and I said to him, can't you protect yourself? Can't you surround yourself in white light or do something like that along these lines? And he said to me, well, he has to establish a connection. And he said he overdid it. And then he told me what to do myself, which is to do our Kung Fu form, Silam Tao, where you go down, or you're standing up and you sort of bend your knees and go down, and you're grounding yourself.
It's
And
like that,
while
that
you're doing,
horse dance.
it's kind of it's a little bit like horse stance, but horse stance is a bit wider than we go. Right. That's more for fitness as well. But the grounding, doing Wu Ji or tree stance, where you just kind of go down and you've got your hands out, if you look at Wu Ji or tree stance, it's called. Yeah. That's what we do. And he said, while you're doing that, you want to put your consciousness in the ground. Think about your feet on the ground, or think about your feet growing roots into the ground, like trees, you know?
Yeah, so, absolutely.
Your toes are growing roots, and your roots are shooting out from your feet, and it's grounding you. And that's how you get rid of this energy that you might have somehow picked up, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. For people that, are empaths and do need to ground, then I have them do the horse stance, right? Which is similar to what you're saying, in order to ground it into the earth. And when I was learning sacred body work, which had to do with cancer victims, we were taught the horse stance, and we were to hold that like 15-20 minutes in that stance. And Dennis would say, keep holding it, because if you let go, we'll start all over again. And it wasn't that he wanted to be cruel. The point he was making, that the more you can hold that stance and sink into it and be it, the more energy that you have to heal. But again, is that energy flowing through me, or is that energy, anyway? So that's what he taught us. And it is true that when we did do a healing and sort of like chain linked together by holding hands, we could do healing on people that normally would take an extraordinary amount of time and do it very quickly because of the energy in the room. So I guess that's sort of saying that the energy is flowing, even if it's divine energy or chi energy, that it is flowing through you as a conduit. You are going to experience that energy as a healing energy within inside yourself. In other words, as you receive, you give, right? And as the giving, you're receiving. So, so yeah, the chi, the grounding stance is absolutely critical to when you're doing healing or grounding. So, yeah, great comments. Yeah. The other thing is that the chi heaven, is only one layer. It's the energy heaven. It's the chi, which you're using in qigong or tai chi or whatever, maybe even kung fu. The higher level, the li heaven, is beyond the energy pathway. Energy is still to flow between yin and yang, positive and negative, negative positive, or positive dominating negative, or negative shifting into positive. But on the higher level of the Tao itself, there is no positive, there is no negative, there just is, right? So we have to remember that if we work on that higher Li heaven, we're allowed to bring that energy through unadulterated. There's no positive and there's no negative. One of the difficulties we have in our culture is we want to put a value judgment on negative or positive, when in fact, you don't put any label on negative charged electricity or positive charged electricity. It just is electricity in two different forms. But we want to say positive is somehow positive or good, and that negative is bad. And that's not what we're talking about at all. It's just two sides of the same coin. that make up this dimension we inhabit.
Mhm.
So the
That
thing
is
is
really-
to remember that the gifts that you receive for Kung Fu or Tai Chi or Qigong or me going to the gym are one level of consciousness, but there's a whole nother level beyond that, right? And we experience that really when we're in the flow, when we're in the divine flow, right? We're beyond the yin and the yang. You know, when Michael Jordan dunks that ball, he's not thinking about the ball. He's not thinking about jumping. He's not thinking about anything. He's just doing it. He's in the
Mm.
flow, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of the state of grace. And
Yeah.
you probably experience that when you're doing your movement too. I mean, there's a moment that you know, you and it and everything is interconnected, right? You're just part of the flow.
Mm. Yeah, that's really interesting. Sometimes I'm still learning. I'm doing level 7, but to get to master level, which is level 10, I think there's a big gap between level 7 and 10. But we have to do horse stance, 80% horse stance. So, you know, like not quite knees at a right angle, you know, but 80% towards a right angle, you know, between the leg, you know, at the knee joint.
Mhm.
And we have to hold that for 15 minutes. And right now,
Yeah, very, very similar to what I was doing.
Yeah, I can only manage about 3.5 minutes before my legs are shaking and I can't hold it, you know?
Yeah, and again, this is, you know, if, you know, who's holding it, you know, and like who's meditating or who's healing. And when you figure that out, that it's not you, that, you know, they find that perfect state of grace or that balance, where one, you know, one little bit up or one little bit down puts you in discomfort, but there's that place of balance, right? Where you're so grounded somebody could touch you and you're not going to fall over because you're just as solid like a tree stump grounded to the earth. And in that state of grace, you become solid. So I think the reason that we're asked to do that stance is to get out of our head and able to even get out of our body in the sense of just be, and be in that divine flow, undefeatable, because we're totally grounded, we're fully embodied. And to me, that's what we're working on. We're working on full body enlightenment, not going somewhere else, not, you know, spinning out into higher dimensions, not going to the 5th dimension or going off planet or getting picked up by a spaceship, as well. Mind you, I'd love that to happen. We're really allowing our body to be filled with, you know, the light of Christ or divine energy or Tao energy or Chi energy, or however you want to define that divine flow, or Kundalini energy, so that every cell is alive. Every part of us is literally connected to source light. We are literally a walking light body right here. And to me, that's full body enlightenment. And to me, there's no other goal that's worth striving for than that. And it does come, the preliminaries do come from the work that you're doing. I strongly believe that. Like, and why a practice is really beneficial, right? To teach you the basics of that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna hop over, see if there's any other comments in the group. A great conversation. Come back to you in a minute. See if you have any other questions that you think about that for a moment. So I'm just gonna go over here to the Dowsing Energy Healing group, scroll back up, see if anybody's asked me any questions there. I would share the screen, but I'm having difficulty figuring out how to do that today for some reason, so I'm not gonna bother. I might get courageous in a moment and try it. All right, Hillary Dawn Seeley, 2. Oh, what's the 2? The 2 star, what does that mean? I cannot interpret that. So Healy Don Steely. Oh, I was having issues grounding. I do equine and small animal acupuncture. Turns out I had a liver wind through acupuncture treatments. Later, I could ground better and didn't feel exhausted after treatments. Oh, that's really, really interesting. Yeah, I don't know my Chinese, you know, liver and wind and my 5 element theory that well. but I find that really interesting. So basically what you're saying, from a Chinese perspective, is that you were balancing the 5 elements in your body, and previous to that, you had one element that was out of balance. As a dowser, you can do that. You can, do a 5-pointed star, label it, fire, air, earth, air, and wind, and then dowse and see which one is out of balance. You can then, bring in new energy, or you can clear and anything is in the way of that one element, and then you can bring in the other 4 elements to balance that 5th element. So dowsing is a great way in which to discover that. It's interesting. It's doing acupuncture. Yeah, and how about Hillary doing this, what we were just talking about? How about asking the source consciousness to flow through you and the needle, right? And to heal you in the process, but other than that, not to have you do the work, so to speak. Be the conduit for the flow rather than being the conduit flow yourself, if that makes sense to you. I think that will allow you to not be so overwhelmed and exhausted after the treatments. In actual fact, I think that if we're doing this right, and I may be wrong, I'm no expert in this, but if you're doing it where you're letting the divine flow come through, you should feel exhilarated after that. You should be so full of energy because you were receiving the same healing at the same time as you were channeling it, doing the acupuncture of the animals. So Hillary, try that out and get back to me and let me know if that makes sense to you and whether that works for you. All right, so Janet, good to see you, Janet. Become enough space, expand out. All right, yeah, expand into whatever it is you're doing. Janet is a master teacher in Theta, and just did some courses back east. So we want to know more about Theta healing and how to, and she will talk about also the different levels, the difference between the energy level that we were talking about and the higher levels. And you can, when you ask source consciousness to work through you, you can ask which level you want that divine flow to come through. Okay, so Mary Ann Hayes says, I enjoy your discussion. So thank you for that. There's 24 comments. I'm just gonna, Mark is pretty noisy, so we're just gonna mute him. He's a noisy word. Come back to Mark in a minute, go back over here. So there's 24 comments. I'm not sure why I can't see them all. Become the light, says Jenna. Yeah, let's become the light. Hillary Dawn Seeley, I get a sense of completion after treatments. Great. Yeah, you should be feeling really good about yourself and become even more complete after you do your healing. Hillary Dawn Seeley, yes, it does. It has been trying it and getting better. Good. Good. Keep up the good work then. That's wonderful. Debbie Estel, I don't see if you put any comments in. Let me just see if I can find out. How do I get from there to here to there? So Debbie, I can't see your comments for whatever reason. So if you want to type them in again, I wonder how we can get, oh, maybe if we just go over to the video. What about if we did this? I'm going to try, see if I can find your comments, because I can't read them all. So, oops, we're stuck. Let's get unstuck here. All right, we're going to click on the video here, go over and see if I can
go over here to the dowsing.
now I'm hearing myself twice.
See if anybody's we're stuck. Let's get unstuck here. All right, we're going to click on the video here, go over and see if I can go over here to the dowsing.
Now I'm hearing myself twice.
See if anybody's we're stuck. Let's get unstuck here.
All right, that didn't work. Oh, Debbie is typing in. Good. Typing it. Okay. And Debbie says she can't see the 26 comments either. So yeah, so right now I can see Debbie's comment. So she's typing in. I see Janet's comment, last one, become the light, and Hillary Don Seeley. So if you typed in a request, I can't see it for some reason. So type it in again. There's 26 comments and I can only see a few of them. Okay, so here's Hillary. Just wondering why I can't read other people and animals with 98% accuracy. Oh, I'm just wondering why I can read other people and animals with 98% accuracy and I can't read myself at all. Yeah, I think we get in our own way. Maybe you're not grounded. Yeah, I think so. Let's ask. That's a great insight. Let's see, Hillary. Is it because you're not grounded? Is it because you're not grounded? No. So is it because of something else? Yeah. So when you do your work, how grounded are you, Hillary, on a scale of 0 to 100? You are well grounded. So grounding is not the issue. Great question, though. Let me just see. What else could you think about that with regard to that? So why don't you say, I don't know whether you say what I say. When I do the beginning dowsing course, I teach people that when I dowse, I only want the answers from my higher self, and I have them repeat that 3 times. So I don't want my ego to get in the way. So, that inaccuracy that you're receiving could be because your ego wants to jump in and participate and take credit or glamour or whatever. So if you can just, park your conscious ego aside. So basically what I say for myself and encourage others is my conscious mind is what I ask a question about, a yes, no question. Of course, the answer is only as good as the question I asked. The answer comes from my higher self through my guidance and my pendulum and from source. That's where the answer comes from. And that should give you 100% accuracy. So try that. So maybe say a statement like this: I, Hillary Don Seeley, in my holy name, ask that my conscious mind get out of the way of the answer that I'm receiving, and I only want the answer from my higher self connected to source. And I declare it so be it. It is done. Try that and see if that will help you get the clarity that you want. Okay, Debbie Essel says, when I do a session, I channel quite a bit. However, my clairvoyance is stuck. I cannot see clearly, such as looking for a lost horse. My other clairs work great. Is there something stuck that you can point out? Yeah, that's a good question. Finding things for me is difficult. And I think that we all have different skill sets. And I don't know why finding things is more difficult, even though I help teach map dowsing. I can do water dowsing with high degree of accuracy. I can find blocked pipes and everything. So I think it's a state of consciousness. I don't know. But I think in your case, Debbie, that you so much want to find that horse, that's emotional attachment to that horse. And I can understand why. How about, we've called the horse to show, ask the horse to show itself when you go looking for it. How about if you just only work through source consciousness? So saying all my channeling and clairvoyance with regard to finding this horse must come from source, and that my human mind consciousness, I ask my human mind consciousness to move out of the way, so my true nature can shine forth, connected to source, to guide me with regard to this horse. Okay, something like that. So you're actually sending a message to your subconscious, your unconscious, subconscious, and your intellect to move aside so that your guidance is crystal clear and accurate when it comes to this horse. Try that. I think it's a great question, and I'm really curious to know whether it works. I think it's a way of bringing more quality control and accuracy to how we go about doing these things. So thank you for that. That's really, really interesting. And please get back to me with whether my suggestions help or not. I'm always curious, so we can all get better at doing this. Okay, so Hillary says that she will try that out, what I suggested, and let her know. All right, so I'm just going to look here. So Hillary, we've heard from you. Debbie, we've heard from you. Janet, you said hello. Do you have any questions? Mary Ann Haynes, I don't know if you've asked a question because I can't see it. Georgie died. I don't know if you asked a question because I can't see it. Tony, I can't see any questions from you. Hi, Swami, great to see you. Rosalind Reader, I don't know if you asked a question because I can't see. And Tony Ellerton, I can't see it either. And don't forget, Tony and Tony, you know how to jump onto Zoom, so you could jump onto Zoom and ask me there and get privileged attention. So if you really want to ring my doorbell, jump onto Zoom. Okay, and back over to Zoom, see if anybody shows up over there. And there's only Mark and I waiting for whoever else to show up. I'm just going to talk to Mark for a minute here. Hey, Mark, you still there?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you got any more great questions
Oh,
or comments?
yeah, I do have. Sorry, I'm a question like bank at the moment. Yeah, the question I was thinking about was like I want to be able to heal myself better. I've tried. I think I can do it better on other people than I can on myself by a long way, right? And I also run into some physical symptoms as a result of dabbling with some energy healing without knowing really what I'm doing. Right. So you know, that started with my dad going into hospital, and I'm in the ward doing something, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. That started with him, and then since then I've tried to do this and this and this and a few people, you know, and then.
So
yeah,
let me just interrupt you there. So why don't you, cancel all that? So why don't you just come up with a statement like this? I, Mark Kent, in my holy name, hereby cancel any non-beneficial false beliefs or thought forms that I may have occurred with regard to energy healing. And I clean the slate of all non-beneficial thought forms related to healing, so that all my healing information and abilities come from Prime Creator, from Source, and I declare it so be it, it is done. All of that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you can wipe the blackboard. Why not? It's your world.
Yeah, I kind of tried to do that because, like,
well, never mind trying, just do it.
Yeah. I
trying is trying. It's, think of the word trying. It is a very trying. So again, it's your words. So just if you declare it so, then it has to be so. I mean, yes, there can be doubt, or there can be other emotions underneath it you may need to deal with, but the more that you state it, and people say, well, you're just faking it, fake it till you make it, but there's really good scientific evidence that your brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would wipe the slate. I would be really clear. The other thing for me, what I'm learning and running Divine Mother Energies, which I've been gifted to do over the last 4 years, is when I open it up, it will be something like this. I call on Divine Mother, who comes to us in wholeness, totality, and truth, to please run the following energies at the maximum level appropriate for everybody on this call. So let's run one right now. And so here it is. So why don't we run the divine energy of clarity for the next 2 minutes at the maximum energy for each person on this call. We're going to do 2 minutes of silence. So if you're listening to this call, just close your eyes and sit in the 2 minutes of tranquility and feel the clarity, the energy, divine energy of clarity flow through your body and align you with Divine Mother's energy of clarity. So let's just do that for the next 2 minutes and see if you notice any difference, or that you, so let's go. So it's 4:02. We're going to do this. We're past the hour, but we're going to do this until 4:06 Pacific time. So 2 minutes. So here goes. I'm close my eyes and run the energy. Please enjoy the energy of clarity from Divine Mother starting now. thank you, Divine Mother. Take your time to come out slowly and have a drink of water to ground that energy into the cellular membranes. And we're past the top of the hour, but Kent, were you able to feel anything?
Yeah, I mean, I did just now just feel very calm, and I was just thinking about my breathing, and no thoughts came in at all. So
Yeah, the beauty of it
enjoyed
for me is like you said, it's just like all of a sudden my brain chatter goes to zero. It's just like it's just pure peace and tranquility. And that's a Divine Mother energy. She's flowing the energy. I'm the conduit. And in 2 minutes, it's just like puts me into a nice, calm state of clarity and bliss. Do I do enough of that in my life? Probably not. Would it be good to do more of it? Absolutely. So anybody on this call now and in the future, if you want to stop me and say, hey, Tyson, run a Divine Mother energy, I'd be more than willing to do that because we all benefit from it. I think we have something like 100, 150 or more divine energies from anything you can imagine that we can run. And I'm in a group that runs these energies every Wednesday for 2 or to 2.5 hours, and every Sunday for around 2 hours. So this is like around about 4.5 hours every week. I'm either receiving or giving or channeling or allowing these divine energies to flow to me, through me, around me. And it's an amazing experience. So anyway, we're going to call this a wrap. This is Tyson Bannigan, the Energy Healing. This was the Healing Hour. Tune in next week, the same time, same place, every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to ask any questions, head over to the Dowsing and Energy Healing Close Facebook group. Type them in there, and I'll try and catch you next week. Don't forget, this is your host, Tyson Bannigan, the Empath Business Strategist. I help empaths discover their divine gifts, remove obstacles, and achieve true success. Want some help? Give me a call. Toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. Or internationally, 1-250-803-2480. The Healing Hour, brought to you every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. During the show, you can phone in toll-free in North America, 1-866-369-7464 or 1-866-Dowsing. The Healing Hour is live on Facebook, hosted by the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy and sponsored by the Facebook page, The Healing Arts Academy. Produced by The Wellness Show, and until next Tuesday, same time, same place, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.